You know what it is. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Get established. Let's go.
Welcome to the Get Established Show Live, where we're all about awareness and support of our community, building within and beyond. My name is Shine, and I'm here with my brother, D. Jones. And filling in for Chilla is none other than our brother on the return, B.I. to the double G. Please like, share, and subscribe. A link will be provided in the chat if you want to join in on the conversation. Or if you like, just comment in the chat. D. Jones.
What it is, man?
What's up, my bro?
Got my brother in the building. B.I. to the double G. What's going on, sir?
What's going on?
Man, it's good.
Good to be in the room for a little bit this night, filling in for Chilla.
Absolutely.
Like being at home again.
Yeah. You on that rehearse, you wanted to assert yourself in there like that, buddy. I got you though. Love to see you back, bro.
Appreciate it. Shirt's nice too, man. Look real good. Oh, if
No
y'all
doubt.
haven't been paying attention in the audience.
Oh yeah. Because we never got the opportunity to say this before. Me and the crew, we trying to promote the new line that's gonna be coming out real soon called Entitled. Shout out to my brother Chilla for that that inspiration there on the idea. So be looking out for it soon.
It's trying to explain to him the difference in this logo and the previous logo from the previous show. Real quick.
I mean, this logo is just a little more. I just put a more little. It's just a refresh. I just wanted to bring a little bit more. I wanted to be more brighter. The other logos were. I mean, they were built for more or they were designed more or less for just for letterheads and just kind of visuals on the computer or anything. But this one, I just wanted to make this so it'll stand out more for print on shirts and stuff. So I want to make sure that we start because we're gonna start selling these shirts very soon. So be on the lookout for these and other Get Established Show products.
Word. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. Diversity, equity, and inclusion part 2. Let's jump right into it, gentlemen. This first question I'm going to direct towards Mr. Shine. How has DEI influenced organizations, sir?
Well, I mean, DEI organizations that do, promote DNI initiatives, they, feel like, or they say that it's inclusive for all, but it's primarily for white individuals. America, they think that through these initiatives, they were addressing racial and economic injustice for people of color, but systemically, it's been to the benefit of white people first and foremost. And like we stated in the last episode, who really got the real benefit of these initiatives? White women, and of course, those that have been in power or been in positions higher up in the echelon positions, they still retain that power, and some of these white led firms and corporations, they've made billions of dollars from diversity training, and these businesses also profited from the government contracts that were meant for minority owned businesses, and then male executives benefited from the increased profitability from diversity teams. It's the okay. Well, we'll put token in the position of that you know a position of authority, but leave out all the rest of the people that that have worked hard and tried to elevate to a higher level. And then speaking on that, all the lower level people that work for the company, they are either underpaid, underpromoted, or underrepresented, and that shows that they have a lack of control or any type of influence in the companies they work for.
That's crazy, man. So black and brown workers continue to be this underpaid, underpromoted, and underrepresented in positions of power, based off of what you're saying.
Yes, indeed.
Let me ask you this, Big. How did DEI impact white men?
Well, right, of course, in the previous year when we got hit with the Me Too movement, you know, white men primarily felt attacked because it seemed like it was just raining bad news for white men. But under DEI, white men are the ones that have basically perfected the art of playing
The victim.
victim while maintaining their grip on power. So basically, in corporate America, jobs from qualified white men still hold 75% of the C-suite. C-suite meaning your upper executive, your CEO, your CEO, your CIO. That's what we mean by when we say C-suite. Um, and 60% of corporate board seats are also filled by mostly white men. Um, while in DEI programs have created like a new opportunity for business consultants. So once again, that typically is a white male dominated space, and it's a very lucrative. Anyone knows anything about business consultants that come in, they cost a tremendous amount of money, and they bill, in most cases, more than lawyers because they're not going to be around for the extended long period of time. They're going to come in and say they're going to show you a problem and come in and say we can fix the problem, but it's always going to cost you a tremendous amount of money. So they've been able to go from company to company um, with being able to capitalize in on consulting gigs as well because it's a white male dominated space. Um, Also, it's contributing to about a large percentage of their wealth. A 2020 report found that companies with diverse leadership teams were 36% more profitable than their less diverse counterparts. So while white men executives embrace DEI, it's not because they had a moral awakening. It's because diverse teams boost their bottom line. People want to see that. And if you look around just from watching TV, and I don't know if you guys, I mean, most people did watch the Super Bowl this year. A lot of the commercials that are just on regular TV show a lot of different multiracial companies. I mean, multiracial couples and families to try to blend that together to sell to cross markets. So they're basically positioning, they'll put people out in front, but the money is still going back down the same channels.
So that's crazy. So with the new administration in place and these companies doing away with their DEI, you mean to tell me that it's affecting not only the white women we talked about last week, but it's affecting white men also financially?
You said it's affecting, um, well, it's not, this is the thing. The biggest recipient, the number one recipient is white women. So they are considered a minority when it comes to, because basically when they look at what's the majority person in the business world or in the corporate structure is white men. So that's the majority. So then when in creating the opportunity, they've been able to basically put a bunch of their wives and daughters in positions in the number one slot. Um, so that's really how it's panning out. I don't really understand. I mean, sometimes you shake the boat to get just to kind of stir it up and really stir people's pot, but sometimes it's just a circus or for semantics.
That's crazy. Anything you wanted to add to that, Sean?
He was perfect on that, right on point. I can even, I'm not even gonna take away or add on. He said what needed to be said on that.
Did we lose you?
You have to say that question
Again, we
again. We
can't.
didn't hear you.
I'm sorry.
We lost you again.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Perfect.
Yeah, I must have hit mute by accident. I'm sorry, sir. I said, with that being said, Sean, what is the reality of DEI?
Well, the reality is, the anti DEI movement that's led by this current administration. I mean, it's like a snake that's eating itself. 'Cause at the end of the day, DEI benefits white Americans mostly. Yet with this anti DEI movement is on it's with along with white people, it's affecting veterans, women, those with disabilities, rural residents, and any other white person not from the right side of the tracks of life. And black, as far as us people, black and brown folk, we just left with empty promises and just talk about what it could do for us as far as trying to change structurally for us, but no, not really. So when people talk about getting rid of DEI, mean, it's I mean that in the equity part of it, it's like, does it really mean that it's equitable for all of us? No.
I mean, it's crazy because we had this big push, and once again, the fact that we came together to create that push was amazing. I will say that, but it's been this big push to make sure that we boycott certain companies that did away with their DEI initiatives. You had Target, Amazon, Dunkin' Donuts, just to name a few. And the black community actually came together uh, towards these boycotts. I mean, right now, and I talked about this a little bit last week, here in South Fulton County where I live, Target is suffering. Now, I can't speak of how Target's doing across the nation, but I know that there are certain Targets struggling. So we're very vested in these policies, apparently, as a black community. But based off of the information that we're talking about this evening, we're not the ones that are really benefiting from this. So, you know, what would you have to say about how we're reacting to DEI and what's going on right now?
You talking about us as a people, how we
As
react?
us as a community, correct?
Um, I mean, I think if we're gonna do something, we need to just focus on building the type of programs that that would benefit us as a whole, like working together, bringing our dollars together and working with each other. Um, you know, we should focus on trade-based skills and education to help the kids, have something other than just a 4-year degree that may not get them the job that they need. And I think that's just a couple of the things that we can start with.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
that we talked about previous things in the past, but anything I believe where you can create a link or a chain. Like I used to be in the lending world, the mortgage lending world. So in that world, there are several industries that work together. Basically, if someone's buying a house, you got to have an inspector, you got to have an appraiser, you got to have a realtor, a loan officer if they're getting a loan, a title company. You got to have homeowners insurance. Then you may have to deal with HOA or something along that lines. The 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 way to create or build something that is that can move upwards in a perpetual motion and where it can expand is to build a chain basically where everyone can make money off of the one situation and keep the ball spinning. Make almost like a snowball effect where you start small and then the snowball you keep pushing along, it gets big. We all made snowmen when we were kids, but that's how you started. You started with a snowball and you push it along the snow, and as it goes, it gets bigger and bigger. And that's the bottom piece. That's how you make each piece. But there are so many industries that that live in that space where they're tied together. But what I think the issue is that we don't have those conversations. Those aren't the conversations that we have in order because people want sexy jobs or they want sexy opportunities and they want it to be something flashy. Oh, I want to open a nightclub or a sports bar or things along that nature. When it's the money, there's a train of money or there's a currency, a flow of money that's moving, and sometimes all you have to do is step into it, and it's not always sexy.
But I think as a community, we do tend to follow trends. I mean, because if you look at the black neighborhoods as a whole, if you travel around the United States, you see some of the same things going on. Whether there's a soul food restaurant, whether there's a wing spot, you're gonna see salons, you're gonna see barbershops, you're gonna see maybe car washes. So, what are some of the things you suggest that we do to, I guess, deliver different businesses to the black community?
Can I take this one, Raymond? So let me tell you, if you pay attention to what happened in every industry that has created an explosion, it starts with this one word and this one thing, and it's called disruption. We have to go in and disrupt some of these businesses that are operating in our communities and getting our dollars. We got all of these black women walking around with a bunch of wigs, a bunch of eyelashes, buying a bunch of cosmetics, lotions, stuff for things for their hair, things for their body, all of these different things, and it's being supplied mostly from what I see, and maybe from what y'all see as well, being supplied by like Asian people. We have not stepped into the things that we buy the most. That is where we need to be, is where we spend most of our dollars. We need to step in there and disrupt it. We need to disrupt it just like Airbnb has disrupted the hotel business. We need to step into Uber has disrupted the taxi cab business. That was a locked in business for people. I mean, you got people there, they call their cabs medallions up in New York. And that means you can make X amount of dollars if you own one of those because you can make it off of the rides. Well, Uber came in and disrupted it. And you got people sitting somewhere else that's basically getting a piece of the pie from other people using their cars to transport people around. Those are those are disruption businesses. And we need to have a mindset of what's working and where the money is already flowing and how to go in and basically take that business and bring it back to our community because we're spending the money. We spend so much money. We're almost like another. I forget what size of a country we would be from black people in America and the amount of money. I think it's like the sixth largest um, country. The way we spend money, and
Right.
it's not circulating back into our communities. That's an issue that we need to deal with and resolve. You know, so we need to get into the flow.
Yeah, and I mean it sounds good, big. I will admit it sounds good, but as a community, a lot of times we take the lazy approach to this. It's easy for us to go and spend money with somebody that's already doing that than us creating it and doing it ourselves. You know, it's easier to jump in a car and drive it rather than build a car, um, put the engine in, build a brake system, put the seats in, the headliner. It's easy for us just to go and jump in the car, start it, and drive it, than to build it from scratch. So how do we
Mm.
get our people moving in the right direction? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, everyone has a choice. And the problem most of the time is that people think about now and don't think about the future far enough into the future. Because
True.
right now, AI is coming.
Yeah.
Just like Jay-Z said, 50 is coming, AI is coming. And it's going to be far more disruptive to many people's lives than 50 Cent was to the rap industry.
I can
Okay.
attest to that.
So I mean, cause me and both Shine, we in different parts of transportation. You got people driving cars in call centers now, or not driving, but driving trucks and making deliveries in call centers behind a desk, and that vehicle is moving. And now we know, of course, we have vehicles that can be autopiloted. But what has to happen is that number one, we have to find a way to be able to communicate from the people like us that have gray hair to the very young people that want to go out into the world and to do something great. Because we've lived a little more, we've had successes and we've had failures, and we should be able to share both of them so that they can understand that's a path to success. But the best thing to do is to build a chain. I don't care what it is you're doing, because if you look in other communities, if you look at something that a lot of people looked at back in the day, and it's still on YouTube today, you got this show called West Coast Customs that used to be like Pimp My Ride, right? So when you go in West Coast Customs, you got somebody that does something special with the wheels. You got somebody that does something with the interior. You got someone that does electrical. You got someone that does suspension and maybe brakes. Then you got someone that does engine. We need to build those type of links. Honestly and truly, I would not recommend a kid, especially not one of our kids, even waste their time. And so I know some people will get mad at this, but it is what it is. To waste their time 4 years at a college if they're trying to make money. If they're trying to position themselves to get down the road and get wealthy, the best thing you can do right now is get a trade, because there are a shortage of tradesmen and they're in high demand. And there's plenty of work to do. Right now, if there was a young group of hungry uh, kids that could come together, people are doing a lot of renovating of commercial buildings and residential homes, a lot of flipping going on. But it's not just like the old way where they would just try to put lipstick on a pig. They're actually going in and they're basically bringing these places up to a modern style or modern look. If you have the skills to be able to do that, you can go from job to job to job to job. You build your crew, and everybody can eat. From the guy that finds the house to the guy that sells the house. And I'm not saying guy leaving out the ladies. I'm just, you know,
No. We understand, and that's
right.
Yeah.
interesting that you bring that point. I mean, so many years ago when I was coming out of high school, you know, your parents preached to you, you needed to go to college. You needed
Yep.
to get a higher education. You needed to get a degree in order to be successful and to make decent money. But I know plumbers that make just as much money as doctors make. I know electricians that make just as much money as lawyers make. And it's crazy because they learned a trade and they're going out here and they're very successful. And I think that's not preached enough to our youth, because if you think about it, a lot of the youth now, and nothing's wrong with that. they're into a lot of tech-based fields, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But the reason that we're struggling in some of these trade-based fields is because we don't have enough people moving towards that. And you know,
And it delays, as you know, time is money, right? So
yeah,
imagine you got a project, but you got to wait 2 weeks. If you're out and you buy a property and you buy it with what we call hard money, where basically it's a calculation, it's a high interest loan that you have like maybe up to about 6 months to work to build your process. If you got 2 week of delay on electricity, you got a 2 week delay on the cabinet guy, you got a 2 week delay on the carpet and flooring people, it starts to stack up. There is a real opportunity for people out here to go and get involved in the trades and learn these things and learn some of the peripheral things that come along with it, and they will eat for the rest of their days. Well,
and it's crazy because when we were in high school, I'm gonna let you, give me 1 second, Raymond. I'm gonna get to you. When we were in high school, trades were a part of the curriculum. You could take
Yeah.
a trade in high school, and you could start becoming proficient at that trade before you even graduate. And they took those things out of the school. That is crazy. But go ahead, Sean. What were you going to say?
Well, I add on to that. Yeah, because it used to be like wood shop and auto tech. You used to be able to go into those joints and just kind of, get a feel and understanding of what those things entails and how many different areas you can go within those fields. So yeah, I do understand and realize that that's something that we've lost. I just wanted to shout. I just want to bring up something that our producer has said that one, there's a desperate need for air traffic controllers because that's a career that only needs a associate's degree. Oh, and also shout out to Big Ro for commenting on welcoming you back for big.
I'm filling in, Ro. I'm filling in for Chili.
He really throwing that in. He's filling
But
in.
look,
Yeah, he really pointing that out.
I'm here. You know, I got the
He
shirt.
he know
I'm
he
here.
love
I'm
it.
here. I'm with
He
the
know he
community.
love it. He know he love it.
I'm with the community. It's funny that you would bring up, or the producer would brought up air traffic controllers. My daughter's actually going through that process right now. It's a lengthy process. Um, it's a lengthy process. Um, but I think they cut off at 29 or 30. And there's also not only air traffic controllers, they're looking for pilots. And I don't know what level they have gone down to, but they are training people to be pilots because the average age of a pilot is high right now, and they're not being replenished at the level they need to be replenished. So it's also um, in that airline business, there is a high need for air traffic controllers and a high need for pilots to fly these planes, at least before the AI takes over.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's been a big push. I think that was a conversation in the news about the air traffic controllers. There weren't enough of them. So yeah, there's been a big push for that. I don't really know the process. Big, you said your daughter is going through that process
She's
now.
going she's going through the process right now. It's a it I mean, and it should take a long time because these are the people that are making sure these planes are not touching each other in the air because we need to, life preservation. And thank you for the producer. 65 years of age is the average age of the pilots that are flying these planes. Now, what does that tell you? It tells you a lot of experience,
Whole lot.
a lot of experience. But
But
excuse
what
me,
happens when they want
65
to
is,
retire?
yeah, that is. I think they moved it up again to 67. But 65 is definitely a well-known retirement age in the United States, and I'm sure we want to get that number down and get that median age much lower. We can have some longevity. But these are the people that are going to have to train the new generation. I mean, what do we got? I mean, do we want a person over 70 flying an airplane? I'm
I mean, I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, but then you gotta go with this DEI thing where they said, "Hey, look, we don't want to discriminate age, race, so called."
I'm just saying. I mean, it's
I mean, I feel you, and we right there with that because you're thinking like, hey, you got somebody 70, you know, he ain't partying. He just like he might been staying up watching Real Housewives of Atlanta or something like that, and he like got a little. He said, I gotta go to work. Oh man, let me hurry up, get my clothes on, get my
well,
coffee. The next thing you know, he on the plane nodding off, talking about some, man, I was up all night, man. Take over for me.
and not to talk about getting older, but the older you get, your reaction time changes.
yeah.
True, true, true.
And if I don't care if you're flying a plane, driving a bus, whatever the case may be, if you have a slower reaction time and something takes place, that could be a situation, man. You think about it. It's crazy because at a certain age, if you try to get car insurance, just like when you're young, it's high. It's higher for older people too.
Life insurance. Ha!
Well,
That's
I'm
because you're
just yeah,
closer to death the older you
yeah,
get.
yeah. I get the life insurance, but I'm just saying the car insurance because
Well,
they're
true. I'm
saying
just
that
adding on the emphasis. But
older
again,
people are more prone to have an accident.
True indeed.
So if that's the case, when you think about older pilots, how does that make you feel?
I
I
mean,
mean,
because I mean, it's like if the person is capable of doing his position and doing it well, then yeah. But if he's old and you know he's kind of you know you can see visible signs of his age and visible signs of him struggling, then yeah, nah,
so
we
so
don't want
so
that person.
interesting story. I watched this show called Paradise, right?
mhm,
On the show, the main character's father was a pilot, right?
right.
And he was dealing with dementia. So his son stepped to him and was like, "Dad, you got to stop flying." And he refused because he said, "I'm a pilot. That's all I know. This is
Hmm.
what I do." So my thing is, now you got a situation with a pilot that's around that age that doesn't want to retire because this is what he does. That's scary, man. That's scary. Now on the
Yeah,
show, the son stepped in and basically forced his dad to retire. But I mean, this is a problem. And not only let's not just talk about pilots. And you go back to what Big's saying as far as trades, it's the same thing. Like plumbers, a lot of these plumbers are up in age, whether
Hmm.
they're 40, 50, 60 years old. Now imagine having to go in a crawl space at 60 years old and trying to do a proficient job plumbing. Do you think there's gonna be some shortcuts taken?
It's gonna be some shortcut, and if a snake pop up, it's gonna be some problems.
or if you prone to have arachnophobia, it's gonna be a situation where you gonna be like, hey, mess around with them daggone spiders up in there, daggone attic.
Well, I'm pretty sure if you've been a plumber for 30, 40 plus years, I'm pretty sure you have figured out the situation with spiders and snakes.
I hope so. Look, I understand. Let me tell you something. If anything I understand, I don't want to be nowhere with a snake or a spider. Okay, I I got no
Hey, hey,
time.
hey, man, you can't be discriminating against spiders, man. You know, they got DEA rights just as much as you.
Man.
Hey, for real, man. For real, for real.
So let me ask you, because I know, and I've asked this question about, what do you think it'll take to motivate the next generation to become these plumbers, electricians, and tradesmen? What do you think it's going to take? I mean, you got to show them a check. You got to, you
I
know,
mean, I mean, you
Yeah.
got to be there. You got to be kind of. I mean, I think one of the ways if the teachers would, do, if they do their career days or whatever, bring these individuals along and just kind of give them an outline of how this job is, what the, like you said, what the pay is, from beginning, median to expert, or because of course, we have different types of levels in that, and just let them know that, hey, look, this is something that if you look at it from in the long term, it's going to help you build not only a clientele and a brand, but you're building a business of your own, and you're creating something of your own that you can pass on to your kids. So
also,
the
let me just to interject. There's also some other things that could need assistance now. It may be a way for it to become automated, but bookkeepers. Um, if we have a high level of tradesmen, then that gives an opportunity for bookkeepers, and they get to charge a fee. They're pretty much self-employed people as well. But someone could start a company of bookkeeping and affiliate themselves with a CPA or a tax professional. Um, it's just so many opportunities out here, and I just I want kids to or young people to think about some of the other opportunities that are available other than um, the things that people get excited about. You know,
and
go ahead. Sorry.
and they can, and of course, like saying, with the coming of AI, or the actual AI, these kids, they can integrate that in there. I mean, because we all know the young kids, they're more tech savvy, like D said. So I mean, incorporating AI within their work environment is only going to enhance their experience in the positions that they get on, or they do in these businesses that they create.
Well, I'll say this, man. It's just certain situations or jobs that are not sexy to the youth. If you look at it, we have a shortage of teachers right now. We just don't. You don't hear a whole lot of young people saying that they want to go to school and be teachers. You just don't hear about that. If you look at it, well, I know here in the Metro Atlanta area, there's a shortage, man. We got a lot of subs, full time
It's not just there.
subs.
Yeah, it's not. It's
So,
not just there. And I'm gonna tell you something.
so
The with the Department of Education under fire right now.
Mm,
Um,
tell it.
why would think? I mean, honestly and truly, if I'm a young person and I see what's about to happen with the Department of Education, why would I say, "Oh, this is great. The teachers are already underpaid. Let me go run over here to this organization that's being dismantled
yep.
by the highest office in the country."
Woo, tell it. DEI. Yeah.
It's already not a sexy position because the people that are teachers, the people that we know that are teachers, my nephew is a teacher, my goddaughter's a teacher. You know what I'm saying? They teach from their heart. It's not about the income because it's not. I mean, it takes you. You can make money as a teacher, but it takes you quite a while unless you decide to do something very creative. And what has happened creatively, I've also heard about how homeschooling and building pods have been able to create opportunities for teachers to make more income and for students to get a better quality more hands-on experience in learning. But somebody has to pay for that.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
I've seen a lot of teachers that have switched over and gone to professionally tutoring on their on and creating their own businesses in order to 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 branch out and develop their their selves and their brand. So it's like you said, the sky's the limit in regards to what you want to do to position yourself in this ever
Ever
interesting
changing.
situation that we're living in within this administration.
Well, let's keep it a buck, man. We dancing around this, talking about how to get the young people involved in some of these trades and some of these things. Let's talk about it. What motivates a lot of our young people? Money.
Money.
Big said it. Money. So a lot of times, and I've heard young people say it. I don't want to be no plumber. I, I don't want to be no painter. I don't want to build no houses. You know, they don't associate that with money. They just
Right.
don't. So you made a point, Raymond. Yeah, we need to get some of these professionals in these school buildings to talk to some of these young people. Yeah, they don't look the sexiest going to work with overalls on and you know, driving their little vans, plumbing gear. Yeah, it ain't sexy, but these cats making money, man. They
They are.
making money. These some of these electricians making money,
I'm gonna tell
and
you
the
something
kid
else.
they don't even realize it. Go ahead, Ben.
Mechanics, man. Car
Yeah,
mechanics. I
it's
mean, when I started on my last journey looking for a mechanic, currently my current mechanic is of retirement age. Okay. Um, I had a mechanic that was right where I wanted it. He was like 29 years old, but now he's a police officer. He left it. He left the field. Um, but those are the things, and us as older people, not saying that we want to put our peers or our elders out of business, but for me, I'm looking for having people that I can call on that may have the opportunity to outlive me, so I can always call.
Absolutely.
When I'm 60, they're gonna be 40 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And they still can, be in a good position to do something. Um, but we've got to find a way to show them they don't have enough reference points, I guess, to see how it can be a sexy lifestyle, how it can be a lucrative lifestyle. And there are, I mean, I know, people that detail cars. They make a great income. I know people that like Derek said, paint. They paint houses. My neighbors are painters. They make a great living. We grew up with some painters in the neighborhood I grew up in across the street, whole family. They painted, made a great living. These businesses that are blue collar, blue crop I got blue collar does not mean broke. Understand that.
it
Blue
just means you
collar,
don't go to work looking sexy.
you just
It
ain't
just
going to
ain't
work looking
it ain't the
sexy.
sexiest. You right. Yeah. So let me ask you this: do you think that some of these professionals should provide an outside platform on where kids can be educated?
It's
Like workshops.
once again, let me say this. That's another opportunity for us or for someone to do that, to create the environment where they can come and see what it is.
True, 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 true.
It's another opportunity. We've got all these things going on. We got a gazillion daycares. We've got all these different things. We don't have enough gateways or bridges to adulthood. And that's some of the things that we need to start creating. And that's one of the things that can be created right here off of this channel is a gateway to adulthood. Because the thing about it, one thing that I think we knew, I don't know if the kids today, if they look at being what it means to be 18 other than I get to make the rules and I get to vote. Well, and you really don't. If you're not taking care of yourself, let me just say this. Let me just be clear for all the minors that may see this or all the people that got children that still call them children when they're 18, 19, 20, 23, 27. They're not children. But at the same time, they've got to know that they need to be an adult. Meaning that for us, our generation, we knew that 18 mean you had to do something. You had to go in the military, you had to go get a job, or you had to go to school, or any combination thereof. That type of clarity is not on the generations that are out now. 18 is just mean I don't go to school no more.
So
Don't mean I got to go to the military. I need to get a job, or I need to go to college, or trade school, college or trade school. And we need to bring those three things back. Or it's even great. I would say if someone 18, if they know, if you can see a child or a young person and you can recognize a gift that they have that they don't know they have, or a gift that they will be a possibility they could have, show them and they can turn that into a business. Because think about it, you're not going to make much money anyway working for somebody at 18. You can go out and create a business and make more money than going into a entry level job. Time, go
Hey,
ahead.
look, right quick. I'm gonna join Ro in because I think he got a few words to say, and after that we're gonna kind of bring it to a head. Brother Ro,
Big road in the
Yo,
building.
what's
big rope.
what's the word? What's the word, sir?
Yeah,
Uh oh.
technical
Uh oh,
difficulties.
He done ran in here and froze up. Ran right in here, ran right to the wall. He's like somebody said, "Hey, Kool-Aid."
just
That's for, that's
some
for the older people. The
oh
young people don't
yeah.
know what it is.
some
Hey,
fire.
what's going
But
on, sir?
just getting in, just getting into what y'all saying and this being part two the last week, man. We need some solutions. We already know what we need to do, but we need a plan of action, right? We need a plan of action. The key to everything is sacrifice, right? Volunteer. We're gonna need some people to volunteer. If you have an area of expertise, don't wait for somebody to invite you somewhere. Show up. Go to a local community center. Talk to the people at the community center. Put on your own program. A lot of times, only thing you got to do to reserve a room is put your name on the list. You don't even have to pay. Jump out here and invite people. Go to if you see some kids playing baseball, go to a baseball practice, speak to a coach, ask for 5 or 10 minutes of their time. Sitting around waiting for people to say, hey, come over here, let's do this. It's not going to get it. We got to jump out here and get it done. You know what I mean? Like each one of y'all have a special area of expertise. I mean, Shine with the graphic design, Big with the finances, and D, you just an overall just businessman, period. Each one of you, GES should be putting on some type of workshop, form, or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give y'all an example, and then I'm gonna get out the way. Sean Ribeiro has a business over here in Hampton called Tent Heaven. Tinting windows. This cat, this cat, Sean Ribeiro from Chesapeake, Virginia, right? He offers training classes in tinting, bringing people in, teaching them how to tint windows not only to build a business, but to expand on what they already have. And it's lucrative. He's gone from one little garage, like how to look, you got the little garage shop, not even a waiting room. He's expanded. And he's not only doing tinting, he's doing car wraps, all types of stuff, man. Son went to Grambling, did 4 years at Grambling, graduated from Grambling, came back working in the family business. and it's lucrative for them. And anybody talk about tent or looking for tent in my store, I recommend him. But that's it. That's one person. Then you got Jimmy over there with the Black Wolf Investments. Like it's people out here, man, and you, GS crew, get the community together because y'all know people. Big, you the network king.
Mhm.
You the network king. You know, just put some stuff together. Do it. Just do it. Like Nike. Just do it.
Just do it. I hear you, Ro.
Just
I,
do it.
I hear you.
That's it,
You
man.
pulling on us. You pulling on us.
No, I
Yeah,
agree with
got
you
to, man.
1,000%. We have to create a bridge because, and this was part of the conversation that we
Exactly.
were actually having offline last night about with Nate. He's the president of a local areas basketball association, and he's trying to
Mm-hmm.
create an opportunity to bridge for kids going to adulthood so they can make some successful uh, decisions. And
Mm-hmm.
the one thing that's critical is that kids get enticed by things and they think, I mean, think about this, and I hate to go off the road here a little bit, but when we know growing up, there was a lot of people that we knew growing up that was selling drugs and they won't making more than minimum wage. All of that risk for less than minimum wage. We want our kids to have think they have opportunities, not fall into that trap because that's a trap of nothingness.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. It's a trap of nothingness. And the opportunities that are out here, you don't have to watch your back. You can sleep
Mm-hmm.
at night. You'll be
Mm-hmm.
able to take care of your family. That includes, because one thing people don't think about when they're young, they don't think about having to care for their elder parents. They're only thinking about them
Boy,
and the cars that
at
they
all.
buy and things of that nature. They don't think about, one day my parents may need me. I'm telling you, let me tell you this one thing from experience. My parents took great care of me, and when they got to the point they needed me to take care of them, I was able to.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. You want to be in that situation where you're able to, and not in a situation where you cannot.
Yeah, man. And the key with the young people, man, is not putting a dollar sign on it. Is presenting the value in the role they choose to play in the community. It's the value. Value can't be measured by a dollar sign. It can't be measured by a dollar sign. If you put a dollar sign on it, that creates all the hysteria, man. All the hysteria. If you present the value that they will bring to the community by learning XYZ type of trade and what role they will play in elevating us to a level where we don't need these type of assistances, where we don't need to have to deal with the type of foolishness that we are in a position that we got to deal with now, where we won't have to go begging for somebody to be included. That's the whole thing. We trying to be included in something that ain't meant for us. And I said that last week, and that's a whole nother other tangent. But I just wanted to jump on, man, and my man Chilla hit me offline, was like, put the spice in there. So I'm got my Chilla on right now, putting the spice in there, man. Good to see
Look,
you up in the fold, big. It's a good look, man. I know it's a one sub shop, but we good, man. It looked good in there, man.
because
D
I'm
keep
still,
rolling
I'm
the
still
three
part of the
hundreds.
community, man. I'm a fill in, man. I'm part of the community. But
Yeah, you got your T-shirt on.
I do.
He look. He know what he part of. He part of the crew.
Exactly.
He know he
Yes,
part of the
sir.
crew.
Where yours at?
Man, shine, man. That's all. All I'm gonna say is
It's
shine.
coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Okay.
Like I said, it's coming.
Exactly.
So
I got a whole. I got a whole list of people. Got it's
let me
coming.
say this though, and it's valuable. Ro, thank you for your input. But the reality is, if we start creating more businesses where we already spending money, and we start getting in the influx of money that's already flowing, then like Rose said, we don't have to ask for no inclusionary. We'll have what we need, and this is what we've done in the past. There was a time where a job it was a strange thing. Most people were self-employed because that's just what it was. That was the industry. That's how it existed. So we have to get in the mindset of we can do this and provide good service. That's the other thing. Provide good service. Be
Absolutely.
personable. Provide good
Absolutely.
service, and the floodgates are open. It's enough money flowing, and that's people. That's just not black people. People want to be served properly and be served well. So we have always been in the service industry, us as a people, but we can also draw money from other areas and other ethnicities to flow through our system, and we can start to circulate. So that's where we want to be, and we need to talk further about that bridge, creating that bridge to adulthood. I think that's something extremely important. I'm glad talking to Dave brought up um, that idea in this conversation tonight.
Hey, hey, Big, can you drop to the audience some books that you recommend as far as DEI and Black leadership?
Number one I'm gonna say is Powernomics, because let me just say this: all this other stuff. Look, don't get me wrong. I appreciate the boycott movement and all that, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if that money is not redirected in a different channel, them one day boycotts and those things, I get it, but I'm gonna tell you how people look at bottom lines. If I have a month and I'm looking at the revenue for that month, and I have 2 bad days, but it equals out at the end of that month or equals out at the end of that year, guess what? Unimpacted. It's impacted when people step into what we've talked about tonight. Is having people that are willing to step into the currency flow and disrupt it and move where we can move our money and be served. Now, let me say this: with that may come in the beginning higher prices. You have, like Rose said, you got to sacrifice something. You have to be willing to pay for what you believe in, and you have to be able to want to support it. That's my final word on that.
Cool, cool, cool. One thing, something in closing, understand your identity and your heritage from which you come from. As a community, we have consistently demonstrated resilience and have triumphed over numerous challenges throughout our history. Our strength as a people is undeniable, and despite various attempts to undermine us, we continue to persevere. We invite you to join us for our up and coming episode, They, They're Not Like Us, where we will explore our identity and in ways in which we flourish. With that being said, you know what it is. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, get established.
This has been the Get Established Show Live. We thank you all for joining in on our conversation, and be sure to like and comment and subscribe. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X.
Thank you
For
guys. Oh, I'm sorry. Thanks for letting me fill in tonight. I had a great time.
Yeah, we appreciate
for
having
the
you, Big.
for all the fellas and the BI to the double G for rejoining us for today's episode. And our pushing producer. Good night. Peace.
2025, we still live. Anybody got a joke?
We done.
With this old guy who decided to fly a plane, and he had just came from a strip club, and he had spent up all his money, so he couldn't get his coffee. So as soon as he got up on the plane, he got real sleepy and took a nosedive.
Wow.
That was the joke.
Wow. That's all I like to say. Wow.
Hey man, I'm just
Is it a delay on the closeout?
yeah, I think it was because I remember last time they see me cussing on that. I think it might be all right. It might be
Yep,
good.
it's still on. It's still live. I'm watching it.
Ah, well, let me do this. There you go.
There we go.